blend to another color's. Oh yeah, able to blend to another color's will more easily. So let's take a look at examples, okay? Because we have 4 minutes until the Dom1 game. So right here, what you notice is that Jarvan is red-white. Why is Jarvan red-white? Okay. Jarvan likes to be aggressive. He is very strong early on. He is very strong mid. He tapers off in the later stages. He runs out of fuel fast. He is really bad if he's behind, or he's often really bad if he's behind. Why is he white? Well, he can go glass cannon AD. He can go off tank. He can go pure tank. He has knockups. He has long reach. He has containment. He has a lot of things going for him. Jarvan is red-white. So, right here, we'll do we'll do red for Jarvan, as that's how the draft starts off. Okay, so there's one color here. Now, the enemy team responds Gangplank. Gangplank is green, white, and blue, for the most part. Now, white creatures, or white things, are not... Now, even though blue is often weak early on and green is often weak early on, it doesn't mean that the champion, just because it has those two colors, has to be that way. Gangplank can sort of do everything. He can go crit plank, he can go tank plank, he can go kleptomancy and accelerate, he can go grasp of the undying, he can basically be a menace to kill. That's his white aspect, okay? Green is that he has a lot of synergy, right? Synergy with bot lane. He has very big item timing completions, right? His Trinity Force or his Essence Reaver or his Sterix and stuff like that. His level 13s, level 9, both of these are really clutch. His ultimate that has to go up. These are also blue aspects. These are blue traits and definitions, right, as well. He has control and manipulation inside of the lane because his barrels morph the terrain where the opponent can stand. He can also more easily control the brushes. He has a get-out-of-jail-free card inside of his W. He's extremely hard to kill, and then because of the white component, he's actually able to bully a lot of champions. So Gangplank is sort of the jack of all trades, and if bullies don't exist to actually beat him, well then, if every other class just isn't strong enough, Druid's OP. So Gangplank is OP, especially because the white, or the green and the blue is really, really strong for him. Whereas the white is a defining characteristic of him. It's not the core defining characteristic. I would say more so the blue and the green are. So Gangplank starts off right here as being basically blue and then white, right? So they have a Bant team composition right now. They have blue, white, and green. Now, normally, white is very good against red. White is very good at stalling. White is very good at being stable. It's very good at being solid. It's very good at resisting early type things, even though green is, green and blue can be weak to red or whatever, especially if red has the leg up. Then they pick Gragas. Gragas can do everything. He can do AP Glass Cannon, can do off tank. He can do pure tank, just like Jarvan, right? Gragas can go aggressive very early on. And Gragas has one terrain shaping ability, or he has technically two if you count his Q cask and you count his R, right? Similar to Gangplank's barrels or something. But I wouldn't say that Gragas is necessarily too deep in blue, but he's definitely in the blue marker. So we get more white in the team comp. We get a little bit of blue. Gragas is a little bit on the blue side. And then you get a little bit of red. Okay? Now, then it hands back over to the opponent. What do? They pick Lucian. What does Lucian have to do? Lucian has to win lane. Lucian is a deep red champion. So now we have a lot of red on this team composition. He's being paired with Braum. Braum normally has two modes. Braum is usually like 4 colors. And so they add Braum, who has the white component aspect of him. He has the green, and he also has the blue. But with how they're likely going to use him, for now, he's actually just the red and the white. He doesn't actually gain access to his other 2 colors. So you have the red and you have the white come in for Braum, because what it's looking like right now is there's one mode, which is to go forward. There's no sign of anything that Gragas is going to be using Braum is going to be using his green or blue features for, or anything like that. And so right now we have we have a deep red with like white splash type team comp on the side of this team, okay? And now what this team can recognize is that, okay, They're very deep red. They're going to run out of fuel. They cannot go to the late game. How do we just answer that and not try to fight them head on? If we know that we already have 2 champions that are looking like they're going to be able to scale and beat the opponent, we need to just basically get AoE wave clear, or we need to get creature removal, creature destruction, or champion destruction, or something like that. We need something that is flexible, something that's able to resist the aggression. Ezreal Iceborne Gauntlet, Ezreal with teleport, Ezreal just being defensive. He gets all these modes that works directly against what this team composition is trying to do. So Ezreal comes in, and he has the blue aspect. He's also able to flip a switch and be red, and you get the red, and then you also get the white, because he's sort of able to do everything, right? So again, these 3 colors are obviously really on theme. Gangplank's green, obviously not. It's a color of him, but it's not a defining trait. So you have Jeskai versus Boros with how the draft's unfolding. This team composition says to itself, okay, we just want Gangplank to not be able to have any problems. Now, you could incentivize the Jace, because the Jace would actually be black-red. So because Jace would be able to be black-red, and he has fringe blue tendencies if he ever tries to poke or siege or something, you can incentivize them to go even deeper into red. You can try to make them go mono-red. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. So I talked about how with Nemesis and Edward earlier when I was doing this draft that there's an argument for leaving Jace open, but in this case, we'll ban it away. The enemy looks at us and misassesses the situation. Obviously, this team composition down here is not thinking about aggression. It's not, why would a team comp with blue, white, and red features want to go really deep into red all of a sudden? Why would they want to recalibrate to that? Why would they want a knife fight when they are so far in the lead in the race in terms of hit points and in terms of card advantage and all these things that are very apparent just the way that the draft is right now? Ezreal going to be able to be paired because there's too many supports that exist. Gangplank not going to be able to be touched because there's no champion that can really touch Gangplank right now. So you have all these insurance policies that you know are going to grant you to the late game. What is LeBlanc doing? Fucking, that's off theme. It's off color. It doesn't make any fucking sense. There is no logic to this team composition picking LeBlanc. Okay, we banned Kennen for basically the same reasons that we banned Jace, because if Kennen goes for, you know, the aggressive AP all-in type thingy-majiggy, even though he's not going to be able to split push and whatnot, he's basically red-green, which again we're just not allowing them to have options. Okay. At this point, it becomes very easy to draft. In a spot like this, you want to now pick the support. Okay, well, you're looking for a support that is white-green, white-blue, blue-green, blue-white, red-green potentially, red-blue potentially in nature. You're looking for any of those themes so that you stay on color, but you don't have to go aggressive. Now, even though I'm saying red in this explanation, you want to try to stay away from red if you can. Or unless you're using red as a creature destruction, which then starts to become a deeper reading to the card. It's sort of like the cards in Magic the Gathering that they have the color symbol, and you can pay with either or. So Zyra slots in. Zyra, against this team composition, is Wrath of God. She is destroy all creatures, or she settle the wreckage, exile all creatures. She also has the blue component because she controls things. She morphs terrain in an extremely unsettling way for this enemy team composition. She has the red aspect, but the red aspect is actually just a trait that blue and red both share. But in this sense, in this situation, it's using offense as defense. It's an example of how you can use offense defensively. And so Zyra would come in and she would slot in with the blue, and then she would slot in with the white, and then the red again. And so this team composition is still very on theme, and it hands over control to the opponent. Now, the opponent needs a really strong magic damage champion. Obviously, in my suggestion, drafting against myself here, I proposed that one of the ways that they can bail themselves out of this is to add Karthus to the mix and get a black-red champion, or a black-blue. They can try to get a black-blue champion in here, with the black-blue's characteristics being that it can accelerate the red way faster. So even though it is black-blue and it's off-theme from the red, the black has a cost and a condition that accelerates the surrounding colors of the red and the white that is present. And then the Aurelia is basically just a fucking Boros angel. Aurelia tells you what she's going to do, and then she does it. She's extremely white and red. She has like components of green inside of her, but she's more so white than she is red. That would be a recalibration. Then you can acknowledge that, okay, they're mostly just red and a little bit of white. They have a Karthus that needs to get ahead. And what do we need to do? Well, we just need to actually survive the early and mid game. What's a champion that can survive the early and mid game and not really bleed out? Well, Lyssandra's going to take on the blue-green and in this regard, the white aspect. So blue, green, and white comes in for Lysandra. Obviously, the green being the timings around her itemization because of the way the enemy team composition works, and the fact that she can scale up more later. And basically, they stay on color. So there's a little bit of green inside of the team composition. Lysandra has like, again, much like Zyra, she has a red aspect that is basically just red as blue. It can be either or. And you get a team comp that is really on theme with one another. It's really trying to do what it wants to do, and it has a clear goal. And the really cool thing is that all of this was in response to the opponent. The opponent showed deep red too early. We're going to get into the Dom 1 draft